the headline reads, $200,000 bail set for Detroit clerk who locked door before customers were shot. So let me see, because when I was reading this, I did get myself kind of slightly confused. So I hope I can explain this correctly. So in Detroit, a gas station clerk named Al-Hassan Aiyash, who's 22 years old, has been charged with involuntary manslaughter in the death of a customer and has been accused of being grossly negligent. So Hassan, he's behind a protective glass, right? Behind a protective glass, and he remotely locked the door to the store because a guy was leaving and allegedly was stealing some items that amounted to about $4. And and in trying to leave, during the leaving, there was apparently some commotion and stuff going on inside the store itself. So essentially what Hassan did was lock the door because he's trying to get this guy to not leave with the $4 without paying, whilst there was a fight going on inside the store. And the shooter, Samuel McRae, who's 27, ended up shooting a gun. I think he ended up shooting a gun. He unlocked the door shortly before the shooting. And the gun killed one person and injured two other bystanders, I think. Yeah, 2 or 3 bystanders. And before the shooting, his lawyer says that Hassan actually unlocked the door, but the prosecutors say that no one really knew that the door was unlocked. So people just sort of thought that they were just locked inside a store while a gunman was shooting. So that's the premise of the show of the story.
Right. Okay.
So he's been charged with involuntary manslaughter, and his bond was set to $200,000.
Right. So what does this mean then? So he is.
So the idea. So
he can potentially go to
prison. Because
does it say how long?
It doesn't say how long. Well, whatever.
But he could potentially go to prison.
Yeah, for involuntary manslaughter because he locked the door when there was a shooting going on.
Yeah, but he didn't lock it for that reason.
He didn't lock
it because someone was trying to steal.
Yeah. So that's what. Well, before we get into what his lawyer is sort of arguing, how do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like he's done something wrong there? Do you think like it's unreasonable for them to hold him with a $200,000 bail? How do we feel about
Can we
that?
say first, can we think about why the door has a lock at the beginning, right? Why was a security device installed on a door? Why is it controlled behind the glass by the clerk? Did these problems happen before?
Presumably so.
The issue is, right, how would the clerk, right, decide how much or the total amount of the items are? Let's say you said it's $4.
Yeah.
At the time there was a fight going on. How would he calculate that this person only stole, let's say, a candy?
Right. He could have taken more, is what you're saying, basically. And
yeah, you don't know what kind of item he took.
And he was just trying to stop a theft.
Even then, he was probably very focused, on the theft. Like his job, he was like, I'm focusing on this theft. I don't want this person to leave. And there was some sort of commotion happening. Like obviously his focus was on the theft, not on the commotion. Otherwise, you don't lock the door for the commotion. Unless that's what he did.
It might even be
I think it would be the other way around.
It might even be a thing of he's probably seen this 1,000 times of where people deliberately create commotions so that their friends, for example,
Yeah.
can steal or whatever it was.
Mm-mm-mm.
Obviously
Yeah,
we're just
that's a very good point.
speculating, but that's also a possibility. So you kind of touched on it a little bit, Musin. Jamil Hodja, which is his defender's name, I think, said he was just doing his job. Did he panic and act inappropriately in a way? Maybe. But that's the best that they can argue. So he's saying that that's the only thing really that the prosecution can argue is that he panicked and that he just acted inappropriately.
Who's prosecuting him? Is it the people who were injured or their family, or is it the state?
Probably the state, because a body is involved. So it's probably the state.
So what they're saying is he caused the person. So he enraged the person. He caused a conflict
No.
a fight that wasn't supposed to happen.
The person, from what I gather, I don't actually know. I don't think the person who stole is the one who shot.
Okay, yeah.
But I can't, because I don't understand.
It sounds like that. From the way you've explained it, it doesn't sound like they're the same.
Yeah, because if you say to me there was already a commotion, the guy who had the items was trying to leave because of the fight, and he didn't realize he had the items on his hands. Maybe the guy was trying to leave because he's panicking. Someone maybe was chasing him. He was scared without realizing. But the clerk was like, "Oh wait, he actually has a packet of crisp on his hands, and he's not realizing. He just locks him in, and then he gets shot. Then is a different story."
This makes me question the whole notion of what was he there for again? What are they accusing him of? Involuntary manslaughter.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, involuntary like that. Why is that a thing? Why would you?
Involuntary manslaughter is for things that is like grossly negligent. For example, if you kill someone while you're intoxicated, or like if you're driving a car while you're intoxicated and you hit someone and kill them, you didn't intend to kill them, but you acted negligently. So
okay, makes sense.
It's still
so if you had
it's manslaughter.
Like if you had on your window like a heavy flower pot, it shouldn't have been there because there's a possibility it could have fall on someone's head. It falls down and kills someone.
That might be. You can probably make an argument that that's just an accident. That's another thing where it's just an accident too, where it's not necessarily anyone's fault. It's just.
But yeah. Well, I guess there's an argument there that it could be negligence. It could not be negligence.
Because the difference between murder and manslaughter is intent. In order for someone to have committed murder, the prosecutor must prove, and the burden of proof is on them, that this person intended to go out and kill this person. So without that, then it's just manslaughter. And then you have your voluntary manslaughter and involuntary manslaughter. So I think in certain aspects, a voluntary manslaughter is like if you and I, for example, of the four of us, went out, right? And then you decided you wanted to kill this guy, right? If I help you in certain aspects, even though I didn't kill him, I volunteered to help to kill him. If that makes sense. There's actually a video.
Yeah.
There's a video. You know what? There's a YouTube channel where they show they have like a CCTV camera where they show the interviews between the police person and like the suspects or the suspects.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, and then at the same time in the background they also give like the background to the case and all these type of things, and they talk about that type of stuff. It's really, really interesting. Um, Speaking of really interesting YouTube channels as well, actually, there's a YouTube channel that specifically targets predators, child predators, and there's this hacker. He goes out of his way, like on the internet and stuff like that, to lure.
Ethical hack.
Yeah, ethical hacker, and he lures child predators into meeting these decoys, they call them, or like children decoys, and then they call the police on them as well. Very good channel, well done, good service. I forgot what your channel is called, but I think the guy, if you just Google him, his name is Ryan Montgomery. Ryan Montgomery, I think his name is. So I think if you just put that on YouTube, you'll find his YouTube channel. He had a show. He was on a show recently, where he was interviewed by Sean Ryan, I think the name was. Yeah,
I think I might have seen this,
you probably
like
have
the
seen.
interviews. I've been seeing them quite a lot. Like they've
You
just gone
probably have
viral.
seen clips and stuff like this. But
Oh, I have seen him. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's on a tangent. But keep doing what you're doing though. Anyway, going back to the story. Detroit Police Chief James White said he would support a local ban on stores locking people inside. He says, I see no logical reason a person needs to be locked inside for any reason without having the ability to get out. He says, do you guys agree with that? Do you feel the same way? Like, even if it was theft, even if you have like stolen something, even if you stole like, I don't know, hundreds of dollars worth of food and all these type of things, like, do you think that that's a valid reason or good justification to lock someone inside the store?
My uncle did that once.
Your uncle
What?
owns a store and locked someone inside.
No. He was in a bank, I think. I think it was in Saudi. He was in a bank in Saudi or somewhere in Saudi. And there was like a bunch of people, like everywhere, really, really crowded. And then he looks for his phone and he like taps his pocket. His phone is not there. He's double checking all the pockets. He checks his inside pocket, all the pockets. He double checks everything. His phone is definitely not there. So he's like, oh, someone stole it. Because I think he felt someone like brush against him. And as soon as they brushed against him, he was like, let me just check. And then he checked and it wasn't there. And then he went basically to the door and he was like, nobody is leaving this store until I get my phone. I don't know how true this story is, but yeah, this is the same uncle that told me he was stabbed once and the knife broke. So I don't know how true this story is.
That's crazy. That's
That's
crazy. Yeah, it must be. Even that's still plastic. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think to certain degree, I agree. I agree. Like, that's because I don't know. Like, I don't know if, well, it's part insurance in this country is mandatory on all, I think, stores. So if you own a business, if you own a store, you have to have insurance in case of things like this happen, where you get robbed, your windows get broken into, your locks fail, or whatever else may be. Like, if things happen, you have insurance to cover you. And I think part of that insurance is theft. So I feel like if things get stolen off of you, I know it hurts the business, but I feel like it's no like real reason to hold someone inside.
No, I disagree. I disagree with
Gone.
completely disagree with that. Again, I just want to remind the viewers that I don't know in that particular state or country, but there are certain places. Let's say, for example, London. Let's take London as London is busy. Everyone knows how busy it is. No, let's say a theft occurred in London, and let's say a person came in, they stole something. You held them. You tried to let's say you didn't do anything. They took it. You have CCTV footage of them, right? You call the police. Police first thing they will say is, what did they steal? You're gonna list the items that they stole. Okay, what is the value of these items? If you say anything under £250, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, then the police will say, sorry, this is too low for an officer to come. Sometime this week, someone will come to you when someone is in the area, but no one will come out right now. So I think shopkeepers are using some tactics to try and prevent these things, because if you let people come and steal all the time, you're basically becoming a target. So
Yeah.
there's ways where you can try and scare people off. Firstly, you can lock them in. Once you lock them in, you can scare them. First thing that's going to come to their mind, let's say in London, because the guns are not that popular, is to drop the stuff. They're going to drop the stuff, shopkeeper will open the door, they leave. Next time they come to the shop or their
It's a
friend come,
deterrent.
it's a deterrent. There you go, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Because like, imagine you're on the train, and this happened to you, didn't it? Like when someone like grabbed your bag and like ran
Yeah.
out or something. And it's a common, like a semi-common thing where people will, as the doors are closing, they'll grab your phone, grab your bag, whatever it is, and then the doors will close, and then now you're stuck in the train and they're outside. But imagine they picked up your bag or they took whatever, and the doors closed before they could leave. Like that's like that. You know how scary that is. Like you
Yeah.
pick this person. Like what are you gonna do? Give it back. I apologize, my friend, and then go and
that's
sit
what he
down.
did, by the way. Go carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, like what do you do?
You know,
Like this,
the
you're
funny
trapped.
part is, if let's say he doesn't give it to you, you can't do nothing about it. Like you can't physically harm him. You can't do nothing. You
No,
could talk to him.
I would have harmed him.
You can hold them.
I would
You
have
can
harmed
hold
him.
them. I think you're allowed to hold them until the police come.
But so let me cool. But you know that I won't go too much into that story, yeah. But you know that story. So many like God actually watched over my shoulder for that story. Like there was an angel over me, bro. Because the door opened, and then for some reason I woke up, and then he was already he had my bag in his hands already, and he was already stepping out. And so when I went to chase him out, I left my other stuff in the train to chase him. Like I left my jacket, and then like I think my phone was in my jacket and my wallet was in my jacket. I left my jacket to go and chase him. And when I chased him, he didn't really run. Like he just stepped out, and then I was right, you know, adrenaline. I was right, like I was right next to him already. I was right in front of him, and I just gave him like a loud shout, I used some explicitive words, but I was just like what you what are you doing? I grabbed hold of him like by his lapel, like what are you doing? Like what are you doing? And then he's like, and then he said, I'm sorry. And then I took the bag, and then so all this is like what 5-10 seconds maybe. The door was still open, bro. So I managed to get my bag and still go back inside the train. And the guy in front of me, and this is where actually I got mad afterwards. The guy in front of me saw all of that happen and did nothing. And like it's such a London thing to like it's not my business. It's such a London thing where you'll see something happen right in front of you, but it's just like it's not my business. Like I have other things going on. But then when I sat down, we both looked at each other and just laughed. Like we both just chuckled at each other. Like, bro, I feel like I put the fear of God inside this man, bro. Like he
And see,
was.
and that's nine times out of 10, a person would give it up and just say
Yeah.
sorry and move on, right?
No, I hear you.
But just that one time where it
I
could
hear
go
you.
south and you could never predict it.
I hear you. But I think also
So I
like
think
Like a cornered animal.
this guy too was. But what you have to think of, I feel like to me anyway too, is like in some instances as well, where you don't have a protective glass, for example, to protect you, or you're not behind anything, the idea of locking someone in sometimes, especially if you're in an area like Detroit where it's stereotypically not a very safe place, like that could provide more harm to you than safety. In that if they did have a weapon, for example, and you don't have anything protecting you, like you're khalas, it's over. Like they can shoot you, they can stab you, and all these type of things. For what? For $50 worth of food. And I think
Yeah, that's true.
I might also be coming from the perspective of in my store that I work at, bro, like we get so many, like hundreds of shoes, like in a span of a month or 2 months get stolen, just taken, and we don't even know that they're stolen until we go look at, we check the aisles and stuff, and we just hear like an empty box, for example, and we do nothing about it because I work
But
for.
how do you steal shoes?
They just walk out, bro. What do you mean? They
That's
wear it.
sick, yeah.
They wear it, and then they just walk out.
Don't you have a
do
procedure
that
where
at
you
home.
only hand in one shoe?
No. I work in an outlet, so all the shoes are on the floor. Like
Yeah.
they're all
And
on.
like I went to that outlet as well, and there was, the way that it is just like you have, like, from what I remember, you have like a shoe like to
Display.
showcase it, but then but then all the shoes are in the boxes anyway. Like you just take it out and try it on. Because that's
No,
the
but
only
like if you
shoes
think
that are
about
there,
it,
basically.
in
They have
Sports
some in the
Direct,
back.
they would not do that with valuable shoes. They would do it with like generic shoes. But like if the shoe is valuable, right, they would put it in the back.
Not for us.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing because Skechers is such a premium company, I'm guessing they're just trying to be welcoming, I'm guessing, and efficient.
Other shoe companies. It's just, I don't know. Like people do just steal, and we just don't do anything about it. Even if we see it happen, it's like our procedure is just to let it go. Because again, I work for a multi-billion-dollar company where they do have, insurance and all these type of things, and I guess they just claim it at the end of it all.
You understand that big companies do not have third-party insurance, right? They have their own insurance.
Yeah. 100% they do. Why would they go
Yeah,
to a
so
third party?
they don't get paid back. They just it's a loss. That's it.
I guess. But I don't know. I think it's cheaper to let for the items to be stolen than for employees to fight back and then they die under your employment. So and it's probably safer for your reputation too. It's like, wait, what, you allow? But you also see those videos, right, of these cashiers, and they're just standing there like, no, I'm not gonna hand you the money. Like, yo, what? Relax, bro. McDonald's is not gonna miss $200 in the till, bro. Relax.
Yeah, it's very true. Like people coming with a gun, like pointing out at their head, shouting, like, "Give me the money now! Give me the money! You better give me the money!" And the person's just like, "Nah, I ain't giving you the money, man. You better. I'm gonna shoot you. Go on, shoot, bro. Shoot. Would you shoot? I'm right here. Shoot."
Bro, I know I've seen one where the guy's just like, I mean, I guess go ahead. He's just like, this is it for me, really. Like, it doesn't get any better than this. If anything, you're helping me.
Bro, I've been here for 3 years as an assistant manager. I'm at this close to get the manager role. I'm not letting it go. You can shoot me right now.
That's crazy.
You know that grind is real, bro.
Crazy,
it's not
bro.
easy. Well, getting promoted in McDonald's sometimes be harder than being a partner at a lawyer firm.
I'm not gonna divulge anything. I'm not gonna say anything on the fear of like